Hello and welcome back to another video from Average FPL. We're going to preview game week 21 in this one and going forward, and we're just going to have a look at my team, different options I could do because to cut a long story short, I'm going to transfer out Jesus. When he doesn't play, Man City are scoring loads, and I'm thinking, oh my days, I wish he was playing in this game. He'd surely get some points. And when he does play and he's rotated in, they win 1-0 or something, or he gets an assist, and it's just kind of not what I was after. And I know you get a Man City player in, and um you run the risk of rotation. I've said that throughout the season, and so I've had a little dabble in it, and I'm not it's not been a big win, it's not been a huge loss, but now's the time I think just to transfer him out. Um, and look at different options. So we're going to talk about that in this video in a sec. Okay, but looking at the game week, I feel like my team is looking all right. I think we've got some big teams playing each other, which isn't ideal. I kind of need Spurs to do well against Watford if I'm going to have a good game week, really. And then you've got sort of, you know, Liverpool versus Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal. It's the kind of going to conflict against each other. So I will just take what I can get there. You might look at it and say we'd rather have a Liverpool clean sheet and maybe a Man City clean sheet or a Smith Rowe goal, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to captain Kane. I just think now is the time for the Spurs. Get on those Spurs players. Other players going to African Cup of Nations. You're looking at who to get in instead. I think getting Kane and Son in is the most straightforward decision to make at the moment. Spurs' form is changing, fixtures are looking good, and Kane and Son, they're gonna play every minute of every game, bar injury or red card or suspension. So that's my team going forward. The bench is super thin looking, and if any games get called off, I'm in a bit of bother, especially if it's something like the Liverpool Chelsea game or the Man City Arsenal game or the Spurs Watford game. I'm running a risk there, and I know it in terms of putting all my eggs in one basket. But other than that, I think it looks good. So yeah, looking at who to take Jesus out for, might be able to tell by the title. First player we're going to look at is Antonio. Now, the reason I've sort of made a bit of a video about this, I don't really do it for every transfer, but for this one, I can't really see the difference between the players, other than things like ownership. Like Antonio's not been in great form, and my other two players, Ings and Calvert-Lewin, are coming off of injury. So you don't really know what to expect, and you also don't know when they're coming back from injury how close they are. You would think that they're big players for their teams, all three of them, so they're going to play a lot when they can. So Antonio is the highest owned. He's also scoring quite well so far this season. I've got his next four fixtures on the screen right there, and they're all right. To be fair, there's only Man United who you might think, oh, in a couple more game weeks they might start getting their act together. That you think, oh, they'll cause trouble. The rest of them, you could easily make a case for Antonio scoring against Crystal Palace, Leeds, and Watford. Um, and the fact that it's high owned means that if you don't own him, you're missing out on those points. So it's really who can score the most, um, in a short space of time, which is difficult when they've not got any form to go on really. The thing against Antonio is um, he has been playing and he's not been scoring. Um, and also West Ham's form has also been quite patchy, I guess, would be the case. Um, Going forwards, I'm not too sure whether they're going to turn it around. They're a solid team, and I think really if they can just get the consistency back, then that'll be all right, and things will go well for them. But yeah, Antonio really is he's probably currently second place on my list of players that I could get in here really now. So moving on, Danny Ings, I think you know again just like Antonio, fixtures are looking all right. I think if you said Brentford, Everton, and Leeds, at the moment. You say, well, if Danny Ings plays against those teams, there's a chance of um, him scoring. I also think Aston Villa has the best form at the moment out of these three teams. I think with Gerrard coming in, the turnaround, there's that uptake again, that incentive, that sort of spark back. And I think if you add Danny Ings back into that mix, a fantastic finisher of a team that are creating chances, then I think that is a recipe for success. He's, he's not low percent owned. I think he's more middle percent owned. But I think with Danny Ings, a lot of those people that own him will be maybe your fantasy league managers who aren't as engaged anymore, and they've sort of had him in at the beginning, liked his price point, and then they've just left him in because they've stopped playing the game, they've stopped making transfers, they've stopped engaging with everything that's been going on. Um, so I do like Danny Ings as sort of a team aspect, uh, but he's probably third choice at the moment in my ranks. The player that I'm really sort of concentrating on at the moment is Calvert-Lewin. I think Calvert-Lewin is somebody that, all right, he's coming off injury, but he's the lowest owned. He is the most expensive, but again, like I said at the start, all these three players are so similar. They're within 0.2 million price of each other. I'm coming off of Jesus, so I've got money to spend. Money isn't a problem. I also think Calvert-Lewin, although Everton have the worst form out of the three fixtures, out of the three teams we've looked, their next four fixtures are the best. You've got Brighton who have been a bit hit and miss recently. We know they won in the last game, but I think they went on a ridiculous loss or a streak without a win before that. Norwich, you would think you're going to score goals. Villa, okay, maybe a difficult game, the most difficult game they've got. But then you think, well, the other two teams have got Man United and Everton don't. So if their most difficult game is Villa out of the next four, then you would take that, wouldn't you, in your fixtures? And then they've got Newcastle, who are playing well, but they're at the bottom of the table for a reason. They're going to try and get in some players over January, and you don't really know how that's going to turn out. Yeah, they might strengthen, but it also messes with team dynamic and cohesion, and you might upset players by bringing other players in. So I think at the moment I'm leaning towards Calvert-Lewin. Um, but I'd be really interested if anyone watching this video, if they've got any thoughts. Maybe I've missed somebody. I've got zero point 0.7 in the bank coming off Jesus, so I can go up to 9.4 million. I can obviously go lower as well. So if anyone's got any thoughts on this or any different ideas, it'd be great to hear them. In terms of other fixtures during the week, I would say if you own a Spurs player, you should captain them against Watford away. I just think that is um, a really good idea. I think I've got my vice captaincy on Son. I would not have, I'm going to take that off because I would not have, obviously a captain and a vice captain from the same team. Because if that game gets called off, you're in a bit of bother, aren't you? Because you're definitely not going to get any captaincy points. So if you were to captain a Spurs player, I might be tempted to vice captain Man United player, maybe. They've done all right in the last game. I think other than that, I don't really know where you'd go. You might fancy a West Ham player. You might also say Man City or an Arsenal player. Arsenal on a great run of form. So if you do like the upset against Man City, then go for it. I also think if you've got a big hitter for Chelsea or Liverpool, like if you've still kept hold of Salah, you've probably still kept hold of Salah for this game, knowing that you probably transfer him out afterwards. So if you've still got him, you might as well, captain him, see how he goes against Chelsea. He is capable of scoring against the big teams. So I would maybe, captain a Spurs player, vice captain a Liverpool player, or a Man City player, or a West Ham player. Just in case those games are cancelled. So yeah, hopefully you're going to have a positive game week. I'm looking to build on it. I'm just inside the top 1.5 million. So I think, if I can get, like I said at the start of the video, those big teams, those scores bounce my way and Spurs do well, then I think that could really bolster my position overall. So yeah, good luck. Let me know if you've got any ideas or if you've got any questions if I can help with. Thank you very much for listening, and I will see you in the next one.